Hello and welcome to
Fluent Friends, a podcast for ESL learners hosted by Benai and Nick.
Join us for fun, informative, and thought-provoking conversations. In our show, we'll be covering current affairs, culture, and relevant language skills.
I really enjoy provoking my thoughts, Benai, don't you?
I can say that from experience, yes. You love thought-provoking conversations.
So
Controversial conversation, let's put it that way.
tell everybody why you've decided to start this podcast.
I've always been interested in reaching out to some of my students in different ways. So that's one of the reasons why I started my Instagram page at Teacher Benai. And that's why I have line chat groups with some of them. I feel like it's a different form of language learning that I really like.
Yep, podcasts have become increasingly popular over the past few years. And although we might be a little late to the game, I'd like to think that we are fashionably late, and hopefully you all will find some interesting topics that we discuss and maybe some useful language learning tools as well. I think before we start, Benai, it might be good to introduce ourselves. Some people might know who you are, and of course I've jumped on a live stream of yours before and introduced myself, but how about you give the people a little introduction about who you are, where you come from, why the heck should we be listening to you?
Of course. Well, my name is Benai, and I'm born and raised in Taiwan. I know sometimes I sound a little bit American because I'm married to one, but I come from Taiwan. Mandarin Chinese is my first language, and I was educated there. We have recently moved to the US since that's where I'm based out of right now.
And I'm Nick, Benai's better half. I was born in the good old US of A. I spent some of my 20s in Taiwan. That's where I met Benai. I've been a cook, I've been a teacher, and I currently work in corporate America in a sales position. I studied history. I have a master's degree in Asian Pacific Studies. I hope Benai and I can really engage our audience with this podcast. I look forward to it. I'm a frequent podcast listener myself, so I really hope that you all enjoy what we have in store for you.
I've studied foreign languages for many years, and ever since I finished college, I jumped into education, and I've been teaching English, online and in person for a couple of years, but I think teaching English online is something that I really enjoy. And Nick will tell you, for the past few years when I was teaching online, he wished he could jump into some of my classes, and because there's a lot of cultural context that sometimes I can't even fill my students in on because they're rich, they're historical, and I think that's where your co-host Nick can jump in and teach us a little bit.
Yeah, we live in a really small apartment here, so if I'm sitting in the other room reading or watching something on TV, I can usually hear what's going on in class, and sometimes I really want to jump in and add my 2 cents to the conversation that Benai is having. In Taiwan, I was a history teacher, taught at a high school, and that was great. High school students are a lot of fun to teach, but of course, Benai teaches a lot of adults, and so the conversations can be a little bit more in depth. You learn about people's lives, people who have different jobs, whether they're software engineers or they're teachers themselves, and I think that's always fascinating, and that's kind of one of the nice aspects of being a teacher for adults and professionals. So yeah, Benai's definitely right. I kind of felt a little bit left out, and part of me, even though I like what I do now, I still miss teaching.
You don't know how many times I come out of my meetings and classes and he's asked me, "Did you just say that? I think you said something wrong," or "Did you leave something out? There's more to it. You can't just make that statement." So I think partly
She's making me sound a little bit harsh than I normally am. I usually say, "Excuse me,"
That's not true.
but I believe you've misspoken. I would never be so harsh.
No, he's not so harsh, but he is critical and very scientific in the way he thinks. So I think partly the reason why we're starting this podcast is giving both of us a way and a content form to give a richer cultural context. I know I keep coming back to these three words, but those are what's important to me. give more nuance to what's going on in classes as well.
Yeah, and I think that it's important. Benai has moved here with me to America. I lived in Taiwan for a few years, and I think what's interesting about our relationship is that we are always learning about each other's cultures. We're always finding something new to discuss, or we have different perspectives because of where we're from, where we were born, and how we were raised. And so we hope some of that kind of translates into this podcast. Benai, could you tell people where can they find Fluent Friends?
So far, Fluent Friends, we are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Sound On, which is 声浪 in Taiwan. And also, you can find us on YouTube. If you want the full transcription of our conversation, that's where you'll find us. And we hope to definitely expand to other platforms down the road.
How long are the episodes going to be?
Not too long, somewhere between 5 minutes to 20 minutes long.
And is there anything else that people should know?
Definitely subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss an update. Also, you can also download our transcription on newsletter as well. And additional show notes, information, timestamp, all those little details. So you can find all of those links in our show notes below.
See you guys in episode 1.